In this video, I want to talk about the most important technique when it comes to manifesting. And I'm not making this video to downplay the techniques that you've already been using or if you're already getting results from any other techniques, but what I'm about to teach you here today is just going to make your manifesting process a lot easier, smoother, and faster. So if you want to learn more about this, stay tuned and let's get started. Welcome back to this video. My name is Rav and I help people with manifesting, achieving the greater goals in their lives. So if you want to work one-on-one with me, the link is down in the description box below. And I also have an Instagram account where I do post a lot of insights and just like these nuggets when it comes to manifesting, which will make it easier for you to understand what manifesting is all about. So in this video, I want to talk about the most powerful technique. And when I say it's the most powerful technique, I really mean it, because if you understand this and if you start applying into your daily manifestation routine and everything that you're doing, it's gonna create so much results. So before we get into talking about these techniques, let's get down to the basics of manifesting. Let's talk about law of attraction, because I'm guessing that most of you guys may have gotten into the law of assumptions from law of attraction. And law of attraction, it tends to kind of get you more of the general results, but the more you get into the specifics, then law of assumption will help you get more specific results. That's at least what's been my experience. So what does law of attraction say? Law of attraction basically says that thoughts become things. Whatever thoughts you have, if you keep your focus on it, it'll basically manifest into your objective material reality. In the same way, Neville Goddard says, persist onto your assumptions until they harden into facts. Right? So the more you persist into any kinds of assumptions, whether it be like general, like, okay, I'm an awesome person, everybody loves to be my friends and things like that, right? That's basically changing your self-concept of who you are. Those kind of things manifest. But not only that, if you have an assumption about, let's say, specific people, right? Maybe someone in your family or someone that you're trying to date, someone that you're trying to get into a relationship with. Even those people have to conform onto your assumptions, because assumptions are basically, when they turn into facts, they become your belief, they become a part of your belief system. So in the beginning, it might seem completely false, but the more you tend to focus on it, then it gets hardened into fact. So the technique that I want to talk about today, without getting into too much, like suspense or anything like that, I want to say is mental diet. And I'm gonna like kind of, maybe you have heard of what it is, maybe you haven't, but I'm gonna kind of like talk about this more in detail so you get an idea of this more in depth and how this works. You may have been practicing things like affirmations, for example, things like visualizations, things like scripting, inner conversation, meditations, any other things that you can think of, right? So like the list goes on, whatever techniques that you may be familiar with. I'm not trying to downplay any of these techniques over there. They're great as it is. I mean, I even talk about affirmations a lot. I mean, I practice visualizations, meditations every single day. I've done scripting, I've done inner conversations. I mean, these are the techniques that I'm most familiar with, but whatever techniques that you have used, it's totally valid. I'm not trying to downplay any of it. But now let's talk about mental diet, what it is. Let's say there's like 24 hours in a day. Sorry guys, my handwriting is gonna look really terrible, but please bear with me. So there's 24 hours in a day. So maybe 8 hours is sleep, right? It's like dormir. That's like sleeping time for you, right? Then for the rest of 16 hours, maybe you might practice affirmations every single morning, or any one of these techniques every single morning, and maybe right before you go to bed you've been practicing those kind of techniques, especially when it comes to things that are more bigger for you, where you think that there might be some kind of resistance to it. What tends to happen is you may do these techniques, then you're like in a good state while you're doing it, but maybe during the day there might be times you're just focusing on, oh shit, this is not working for me. Why is this not happening for me? I don't see any results or anything like that. So that's basically putting all these like cross marks in your belief system, basically, because what you're trying to do with your assumption is, the more you focus onto your assumptions in the way you want it to be, it's gonna eventually program it into a belief system that you have, and by the time it's actually become a part of your belief system, you've already gotten the thing that you wanted to have. Or sometimes it might take a little bit longer even after it becomes a belief system, but you have to keep persisting. For some people it might be even easier, like you just start like persisting into an assumptions, but before it even turns into a belief system, you start seeing evidence and you just start becoming more and more confident about your manifesting abilities, and then it becomes an actual belief, and the things that you have wanted have already materialized into your reality. Why is mental diet very important, and why I'm talking about it as the most powerful technique is that basically it's like a diet. It's like the way you're trying to change your body. Let's talk about maybe losing weight, for example, right? So you might be going to the gym, right? You're getting like 8 hours of sleep, and you might be going to the gym like maybe early in the morning, and in the evening you might have like some kind of running routine or whatever. But in the daytime, if you keep eating junk food, it's not gonna help. It's not gonna help you manifest the kind of body in your desired time or whatever, right? So you have to be really paying attention to the kinds of foods that you intake to, right? So in the same way, what mental diet is you're basically paying attention to all of your thoughts during the daytime. So I'm not saying that you can't have any negative thoughts. I'm not saying that you can't have any human moments and break down, cry, or do whatever, right? But if you tend to dwell on those things, and if you keep persisting onto those negative things and just keep making them more real than it is, or if you just buy into the 3D reality and just take everything for as it is, and you don't even persist onto your actual assumptions for the rest of the day, it's basically gonna halt your manifestation process. How do we practice mental diet throughout the day? And let's say you're already trying one of these techniques here, right? Maybe you're trying affirmations. Let's go with affirmations, because I tend to talk a lot about this. So let's say you're trying to work on this assumption where you say that people value a lot. Everybody pays attention to what you have to say. Because prior to this, you felt like you've been ignored your whole life. You've not been accepted. People just don't tend to take you as any important, and they tend to just dismiss you. They don't even listen to you. So that's like what you've been experiencing on your reality. I'm just giving you an example. When I say you, it doesn't mean like you're that person. I'm just talking about somebody hypothetically, right? So you're trying to program this assumption using affirmations such as, every word I speak is of value. People love listening to me. People value what I have to say. People pay a lot of attention to whenever I have things to say. People respect me, and things like that, right? So basically you're trying to change the concept of yourself by doing this. So maybe you practice that in the morning, let's say at 8 a.m. right after you wake up, and while you're brushing your teeth, you keep saying that, okay, people really value me. I'm a really important part of my company. Everybody really respects me over there. And you probably do that during the day too. But when you go into the office, maybe you get evidence that people are not really valuing what you have to say. So you start going into this negative spiral. Then what you do is, no. This is not true. In my reality, I always get what I want. So what do I want here? I want these people to respect me. So you basically go into this immediate mode of revision, where you basically say that, okay, I always get what I want. These people are always respecting me. They always care about what I have to say, right? So maybe in the next part of the day, maybe you're on the phone with your mother, and you're basically telling her, oh mom, I've been trying to kind of change my reality by using these affirmations, or I'm just giving this random example, by the way, and you just tell her like what you're doing. So maybe she tells you something like, oh honey, you shouldn't be really doing that, because what if people hurt your expectations? What if they don't respect you in the way that you want? I think it's better off just to keep expectations up to a limit where you don't get hurt or rejected afterwards. And so that's what she says. But you don't argue with her, you don't say anything to her. You basically say, no, my mom is very supportive of me. She is always appreciating what I have to say. She's always valuing the things that I have to say. And she's really always helping me get through my goals and my visions throughout the day. So that's how you correct it. And maybe at the end of the day, you might like bump into your roommate, and you know, like everybody's tired like right before you go to bed, so you might bump into your roommate and you might start talking, hey, okay, this is what happened in my day, and they're just like, they don't even want to listen, they're just like dismissing you, and you feel unimportant again, right? So basically you go back to revision mode again, and you basically say that no, my roommate is always attentive to me, they're always listening to what I have to say, they're always caring, they're always supportive of everything that I do. And then you correct that assumption in a day-to-day basis. There might be tons of moments, especially if you are really sucked into this belief system that you do not want already, right? For me, like, I think this is like actually coming from my personal example, because growing up, I felt like none of the things that I had to say was of some value. I just felt like people didn't value me at all. I thought that I didn't matter. But I had to keep persisting onto my assumption that no, the things that I have to say is of value. And it doesn't matter what I have to say, honestly. And actually, this is something that I did. Like, practically, I would just say like random stuff to people, and without any expectation, I would just think in my mind that they would always accept whatever I had to say in a positive way. And this is how I persisted onto my assumptions. So this is how you go about using mental diet to change the different assumptions of your life. And the more quicker you're able to fix those assumptions when they're going in the wrong direction, the more quicker you'll be able to get your subconscious mind reprogrammed in a way where you're getting the things that you desire into your life easily. And in fact, I do use inner conversations as part of my mental diet too, because sometimes it's just powerful to hear the opposite of what you're hearing in your reality, or you know, if you feel like it could even be just like thoughts you're trying to like change, right? If you think that somebody is not attentive towards what you have to say, for example, going back to the same example, you could just hear those people being really caring and really appreciative about you. Basically hear them say that, okay, Rav, you're such a great person to be around. I love everything that you say. Everything that comes out of your mouth is just pure gold, and I love listening to you. Just let me know like what you guys think about this video, if you found this helpful. I'd really love to know, because if it's actually helping, you know, even a few of you guys over there, I'd love to continue making more videos, because manifesting is not just like a process or technique for me. It's actually a lifestyle that I use in every single day life, you know? So yeah, with that being said, guys, I want to wish you all the very best. Happy manifesting. Goodbye and namaste.